The White House doctor has said that President Donald Trump is no longer at risk of transmitting the coronavirus. But the statement did not say the president had tested negative for COVID-19. Trump has resumed his election campaign, addressing hundreds of jubilant supporters at the White House. It was his first public event since contracting the virus, and the president declared that he's feeling great. He told the cheering crowd that the pandemic, which has killed more than 210,000 Americans, will disappear soon.
I want you to know our nation's going to defeat this terrible China virus, as we call it. And we're producing powerful therapies and drugs, and we're healing the sick, and we're going to recover. And the vaccine is coming out very, very quickly in record time. As you know, it's coming out very, very soon. We have great companies doing it, and they'll be distributing it, and we will through our military very, very rapidly.
Now let's go ahead and bring in Professor and Medical Dr. Peter Chin Hong. He's an infectious disease specialist and has been assessing the president's condition. He joins us from the University of California, San Francisco. Dr. Chin Hong, thanks for joining us today. Donald Trump addressed his guests on Saturday saying that the virus will disappear soon. As a medical professional yourself, what's your opinion on that?
Well, Nicole, the virus isn't going anywhere soon. And in fact, it's going to probably come back with a vengeance, as we're seeing in Europe and in the East Coast of the United States.
And just 10 days after Trump's initial diagnosis, his doctor released a statement saying the president, quote, is no longer considered a transmission risk to others. But he would still not say if Trump has tested negative. How accurate do you think is his medical staff's assessment?
Well, Nicole, I think we'd all appreciate not just an interpretation, but actually the results of the test. It's a pretty straightforward issue. Either you're positive or you're negative. And I think having that bit of information, which is key, is really important for us to assess the infectiousness of the president.
Now, with his status still unclear, the president is planning to hold a campaign rally in Florida on Monday, and gatherings like these have become super spreader events in the past. How advisable do you think this return to normal is under the given circumstances?
Well, I'll be very worried, Nicole. If President Trump were my patient, I would ask him to really stay away for at least 20 days. And there are two reasons why. The first reason is that he's not just a mild case, as the 10 days would suggest. Our CDC guidelines actually advise 20 days for someone who's more severe. And because he's required oxygen and his saturation was less than 94%, he would qualify as severe. The second reason is he's on steroids, and that can prolong viral shedding.
Now, let's talk a bit about this event that took place at the White House on Saturday. A lot of children there, a lot of people from extremely vulnerable communities in this pandemic. What do you make of this? Is it possible that he exposed them to a greater risk than would have been necessary under these circumstances?
Yes, I'm really worried about that, Nicole. As you mentioned, they were from minority populations, from vulnerable populations who bear disproportionate mortality risk and hospitalization risk from COVID. And they were all jammed in close together. Not everyone was wearing a mask. And, you know, the only saving grace was that it was outdoors rather than indoors. But if I were them, I'd probably be nervous about attending that kind of an event.
Dr. Peter Chin Hong of the University of California, San Francisco. Always a pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Meanwhile, Trump's Democratic challenger, former Vice President Joe Biden, has also returned to the campaign trail. He was touting his economic plan in the key battleground state of Pennsylvania. Biden said he understood the needs of regular Americans better than President Trump.
America deserves a president who understands what people are going through. You're facing real challenges right now, and the last thing you need is a president who exacerbates them. My heart goes out to all those families who, like when any of us have lost a child, look at that empty chair and dining room table tonight where somebody you love used to sit. My heart goes out to everyone struggling in this economic crisis.